Hello, folks. Happy Canada Day, folks. I figured I'd play the red and white guitar tonight, and I'd play a Canadian classic, Loverboy, right? Might as well get into the spirit of Canada Day. I tried to find a Canada shirt. I guess I don't own one. I don't know why, but couldn't find one, so I went with the neutral black, and I went sleeveless tonight. So yeah. It's hot out. What can you do, right? You got to do what you got to do. Anyway, let me put this away for now, and I will change the angle up, and I'll say hi to some folks. We'll go over what we're going to be doing tonight. I'm glad you guys were all able to jump in. You're making me work on a holiday, folks. That's not good. That's not good. It's all right. I like being here with you guys. So hold on. Let me just put this away and turn the angle around, and I'll be right with you. All right, let's see if I can figure this one out. Put that there like that, and we are here. Perfect. Yeah, so we finally got summer here in Ontario, I'll tell you that much. It's freaking hot today. Good times. Was out riding on the motorcycles on the weekend, so that's always a fun thing to do when it's hot and sunny. And all right, so let me just get this thing adjusted. You guys can hear me and see me, I'm assuming. If not, I'm speaking to myself, which wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary. Let me put it to you that way. I tend to do that sometimes. All right, who was in here first today? It looks like, let me see here. Looks like we've got Jason Wade in first. How are you? Happy Canada Day to you. I know you're in the States, but yes, we are going to play a little guitar tonight. So I'd like to welcome you here. Bam, how's it going? Guitar Hack. I know Guitar Hack had a gig today, I think. I think I saw a picture today on Facebook or something. He showed his little rig that he had set up there. So awesome. I hope that went well. Johnny Bean, how are you? Happy Canada Day. Hey. Janice Layla, how are ya? Okay. Let me know if the stream drops or anything, because my internet's been kind of weird today, and it's saying that it's bad or whatever. So I'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully it stays up. All right. Let's see. We've got Todd Flowers. How are you, Todd? Ben Coombs. How's things, Ben? Hope you're doing well. Brad Miller. Hot in Florida. Yes, I can imagine how it's. If it's hot here, I can only imagine what it's like in Florida. But welcome. Gary Holt, you got about 30 minutes before Prime Rib Monday. Well, don't miss Prime Rib. Do not miss Prime Rib. All right, so let me go down. Phil Mosley, how are ya? We got a bunch of people in here tonight. Joe Hervey, 84. How's it going, brother? Okay. Nocturnal, how are you? How's Nocturnal? Nocturnal started her new, well, not new show, but on a new channel today, so that's awesome. And let's see who else we've got here. There she is. All right. So make sure I don't miss anybody here. Dale Palmer, happy Canada Day. All right, so, and again, if you've got any specific questions to me directly, you know what to do. Tag me. Otherwise, I probably will not see it. So, yeah, I don't know if my internet is good right now, but it's saying bad. So you might be getting a little buffering, but sometimes it clears up. It was good to start, but. Okay, let's see. Who else? Denny Allen. How are you? Denny Allen's in here. Fabulous Disasters in here. We've got a bunch of people. Cool. So we're going to go through some stuff tonight. A little bit of news on some stuff that happened on the weekend as far as concerts. We'll talk about that. And yeah, we'll look at some new things and maybe play another tune or two and have some fun. Hope you guys can hang out for the hour. We're not going to go past the hour tonight. So, all right. So my internet looks like it's okay now. So let's keep our fingers crossed that it stays that way. Perfect. Hey, EVH is in here. EVH got a new Les Paul yesterday. Congratulations on that, brother. Stephen S. Happy Canada Day. How are you, Stephen? Charles Green. How are you? Yeah, Eric got his first Les Paul, so he's all excited with that, and he was playing it last night for a bit, and he seemed to gel with it very well, so congratulations. Quentin James, what's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. You tagged me on something today, and I didn't even look at it because I was scared, so I never know what you're going to send me via Facebook. It sometimes has something to do with needles or something like that, and I'm not big on that, as you know, which is why you keep sending me this stuff. But I did get the notification. Ladybug, how are ya? Ladybug. And I think I'm caught up here. If I missed your name, I'm sorry. Just post back in here. Cool. I'm currently hiding because someone is broken down in front of my house and I don't want them to come. Ladybug is hiding. All right. Don't make any noise. We don't want you to get a knock on the door or something. Just crackheads. Yeah, that's not good. All right, so it is Canada Day. Everybody's enjoying a great day here in Ontario as far as weather goes, and yeah, it's been awesome. So, in I guess in celebration of Canada Day, we're going to go through a couple of things here with the news. We got a couple of news items I want to touch on. We'll touch on that first, but before we do that, let me see if I can. I've got this set up here, but it always takes me a minute to figure out my buttons. Here, there. Okay. So before we do that, hold on. Test. Oh, that works. Oh, cool. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and take off your hat for the Canadian National Anthem. Hope you enjoyed that little montage of Canada. I had to do it, folks. I'm sorry. It happens once a year. You got to make that happen. Hopefully that wasn't too cheesy. It's all right if it is. We have fun. All right, so let's go into some news. All right, so the news today, well, I wanted to talk about a couple of things that happened on the weekend, which was pretty cool. Hey, we got R2, R3 in the house. How are you, R2? And who else do we have in here? I saw somebody, Johnny Bean's dog's in here. Awesome. Gotta love that. Howie. You should just call yourself Howie. Be easier. And who else we've got here? All right, cool. All right, so let me see if I can bring up this screen, which I think I can. GFX, hold on, folks. This is kind of, there we go. See if that works. Yeah, that looks like that works. Okay. And I need to actually navigate that. So interact. And let me move that a bit. Cool. All right. So yeah, over the weekend we had some rock and roll happening up north, north of Toronto, just north of Barrie, Ontario. So it's about an hour and a half north of Toronto. It happened in like a real, like, I guess, country field area, not where you'd expect the Rolling Stones to be playing, but yeah, they played what they believe is going to be their last show in Canada. Like, I don't know if they're going to be returning again after the show they had on Saturday, which was fine, but they're getting old, but they're still out there doing it, man. They did it was amazing, I guess, from the reports that we heard anyway of the concert reviews anyway. The crowd stuff, on the other hand, was a little dicey because that area can accommodate, maybe 10 to 20,000 people as far as traffic in and out, on a night like that. They had 70,000 people attend this show, folks. So there was a little bit of a challenge with crowd control. Not that anything happened as far as the crowd, but it was, I guess, a real nightmare trying to get out of that place and, getting in and going through, the food trucks and all that stuff. So it was quite a challenge. They expected, I guess maybe 50,000 max. We got 70,000 people there. So, yeah, that was something else. Here's a couple of pictures from the show. I wasn't there. I didn't make it, but I just, for me, crowds are not my thing. Here's our good old friend playing a telly. I don't know. I haven't seen him with this telly before. But I don't follow the Rolling Stones that much, but every time I see him playing, it's either a blonde telly or what was it that I saw the other day on another picture was a red type of really relict one. Obviously, he reliced it himself, I imagine, playing all these years on it. But yeah, this one here, I never seen this one. Ben Coombe says it's the former site of the Barrie. Oh, is that what that is? I remember the Barrie Speedway. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's exactly where it was. But 70,000 people, man. It was amazing. And I guess the crew, they had 150 people on their crew putting that stage together and everything. And today they were leaving. A bunch of people saw them at Pearson Airport. They just walked through the airport and all these people were freaking out. The Rolling Stones are walking through to go into their plane or whatever, and they stopped to sign some autographs, but nobody knew that they were going to even be leaving today or whatever. But I guess some fans got a real surprise, which was cool. Let me see. I'm just looking at the chat and make sure I'm not missing anything. Again, if you got any questions, go ahead and post them. What else we've got? That's kind of a picture of the stage here. Yeah, I can't really. There's not. There's the telly I'm used to seeing them with. It looks like we've got a Les Paul action going on there. Yeah, those guys, man, I can't believe they're still going the way they are. But I guess it was a great show, so it was really awesome. So on the same same type of topic of concerts, here's some more pictures here. They had these huge screens, like 3 or 4 big screens across the stage, like you can see it here, up here in that area. I don't know if you can, yeah, you guys can't see my mouse moving. But yeah, it was Ronnie Wood. He's on the plane. I think they're going to Chicago next or something like that. So anyway, let me close this window here for a second. So yeah, and another big concert that's happening in just a few weeks. I think it's the week that I leave for NAMM for Nashville, but just north of where I live, I'm maybe 20 minutes north of where I am. There's this huge concert, and this one is taking place in a I guess a county airport, like a real small little airport where they have not big planes or anything, and it's on those grounds. And the real kicker with this concert is to get in and out of this concert. It's just one little country road. It's not like a multi-lane highway or anything like that. It's just you need, you're in and out on one road, and that's the only way in and out. So when you see the lineup that's playing at this thing, and it's a 4-day concert, so it starts on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. And let me bring up that. Let me see if that will work. Do that. So here's the lineup for this freaking concert. It's happening in this like real country type of area with very limited access as far as roads and access points to it. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how they manage with this one. Let me see if I can scroll on here at the same time. So what we've got these are the bands that are playing on those 4 days: Aerosmith, Kid Rock, Nickelback, Leonard Skinner, Alice Cooper, Cheap Trick, Collective Soul, Peter Frampton, Billy Idol, Blondie, Matthew Good, Big Wreck, Headstones, Theory of a Dead Man, I Mother Earth, Orianti, Lee Aaron, Honeymoon Suite, Headpins, Street Heart, Saga, Prism, and Strange Advance. And it says and more, so probably some smaller bands. But that lineup alone, Aerosmith, Leonard Skinner, Kid Rock, Alice Cooper, I mean, good Lord, you're going to see a ton of people attending this thing. And I don't know how they're going to manage that crowd in that area because, like I said, it's one little country road in, one little country road out. So they're even offering, you can buy like a VIP pass to get helicoptered in. So if you paid I think it's $500 and something for like a VIP pass and a helicopter ride or something, depending on where you live. If you can get to I think it's the Buttonville Airport, which is just north of Toronto, you can take a helicopter there and land right on the site, and it's insane. It's insane. So I don't know what's going to happen. Luckily, I'm not in the area because even where I live here in Alliston area, it's going to be packed with people that weekend, obviously, because of this. So, but I'll be in Nashville, so I guess I won't be affected directly. But I just thought that's interesting, and I've seen that there's a couple of other places. I think Niagara Falls is having a huge concert, or they were going to have it, and it got canceled or something, with a bunch of 80s bands like Vince Neil. Vince Neil canceled this week. Rat, Great White. I don't remember the other. Queensryche, I think. So all these bands, and it seems to be like this trend where they're putting these huge festivals together in places you wouldn't think that they would have these things. They're not like you would think this would be taking place in downtown Toronto or something like that, right, at the Rogers Centre or at the Skydome or whatever, or at Budweiser Stage or something like that. But no, it's right in the middle of nowhere where they build the stages and everything from scratch. There's nothing there. It's just a field. So it's kind of like Woodstock, what they did back then, right? So I don't know. It'll be an interesting weekend, to say the least. But I will not be around for it because I will be in them. So let me go back to the chat and to the main camera here. Do that, and I pull that out of the way. All right. I'm getting a little better at using this new software. I guess I'm getting, gotta figure out where all the little things are, buttons. And if I do that, it says there, cool. All right. So let me go back to the chat, see if there's any questions or anything you guys want to discuss in your area. Is this a trend this year where we're seeing these types of concerts happening, where there's tons of huge acts playing in these places you wouldn't think they're playing? Like, I don't know, in the States, I'm sure there are festivals happening. But this year, in the Ontario region anyway, I've never seen like that type of thing in some of these rural places that they're going to be hosting these events. So it's just interesting what's happening. Ronnie, the new kid. Yeah, Ronnie's not new. Those concerts are getting too pricey for me. I'd rather go to dinner 5 times. Yeah, well, they are right. And well, the Rolling Stone one, I think it was pretty pricey as far. But this one we just looked at, the Roxodus one with Nickelback and Aerosmith and Leonard Skinner and stuff, the prices aren't bad for general tickets. I mean, but if you're going to the VIP thing, and then you're up there in $400 or $500 range, and probably even more if you want. Like, they probably have special areas and all kinds of stuff that you can pay quite a bit more, maybe meet and greets and all kinds of things. So yeah, they're not cheap. But it's funny that a lot of these bands are kind of getting together and doing events together now. Maybe they're not selling as many tickets, just doing their own bill or something. I don't know. It's a weird trend that I'm seeing. Scott Connor says, I usually have to drive 3+ hours to see most of the bands I'm interested in. I'm not sure. Where do you live, Scott? I can't remember which area you're in. Chicago was 2 nights earlier. Oh, okay. Ben says Chicago was 2 nights earlier for the Rolling Stones concert. More metal, Joe Hervey. Joe Hervey, I'm sure there's metal concerts. And there is a big metal concert happening. Where did I see it? And it's something like this, big festival, but it's not, I wasn't real familiar with the bands that were in it, but it is a metal concert, so I'm sure you can find them. That's for sure. Brad Miller's going to see Peter Frampton in September. Ben Coombe says basically all the smaller font bands are Canadians. Yeah, there's a lot of Canadian bands on that bill that are like Headpins. I love the Headpins. I remember when they came out back in the 80s and stuff. I really liked that band, but I didn't even know that they still existed. Never mind playing one of these big events. Joe Harvey says, needs more metal, dude. Quentin will provide more metal to you later. He's got to go live later tonight, Quentin, and provide us with the metal edition of the show. I'll be doing one show in the coming months here that I'll dedicate only to metal. It'll be a metal only hour. I'll announce it ahead of time so you know, Joe Irby. Yeah, I guess it's true, Ben. It's much cheaper to run an event outside of in a small town, I suppose, for the promoters and stuff. But man, those people that were there at the Rolling Stone concerts, there were 70,000 people. Apparently, to get out of there, the parking lot or wherever they were situated, it took, I think, 4.5 hours for some people to get the hell out of there after the concert was done. I mean, that's insane. Either you have to kind of, the infrastructure has to be in place to host something like that. Otherwise, man, it's just not going to be a good experience for people. I think the concert was a real hit and everything, but everything else around it wasn't that great. Marsman's in here. How are you, Marsman? Harmony, how are you, Harmony? I had some people on my show I did a show on Thursday night. I did a late one because I knew that Dave R. was traveling and stuff, so he couldn't do one. So I jumped in and did one. I had a bunch of people in there that I hadn't seen before. So I don't know if they're in here tonight, but we played a bunch of songs and had some fun. Download is a good metal festival that we have. Oh yeah, Download. I've heard of Download. Yeah, that looks like a really good festival. The Dog Paw, how are ya? Let's see. All 80s bands doing tours again. My kids of rocking. Yeah, I know, right? The 80s bands are all. Well, it's great that they're still able to do it, and I think there's still an audience for it. It's not what it was back, in their heyday or anything like that. But it's pretty cool that they're able to still draw an audience and get support. Darby has been singing solo for years. Headpins reformed. Yeah, she's a great singer, man. Ben says that we're talking about the Headpins here. Darby is the singer's name. Yeah, she's really good. I always liked that music. Their first album was amazing. Janice says, I think my phone battery's done. Oh, no. Plug that battery in, brother. Okay, we got Bam, Charles Green. Okay, so I think I'm at the bottom of the chat here. So let me... so the other thing I want to talk about tonight is is improvising. Is when you're practicing, are you doing a lot of improvising or working out with songs? Like when I go to a jam track, sometimes there's no singing on it, and I try to improvise a guitar part that would be what a singer would do over top of it, and I just kind of play around with it. So there's a lot of improvisation in that mode, and I find myself getting better at doing that and hearing the notes that are being played and trying to adapt a melody around it instead of just running a scale, right? So sometimes, well, as I'm learning, I'm getting better at doing stuff like that. But before it was just, okay, what key am I in? And here's the scale I'm going to run while I'm doing that. And then I pick parts of the scale and I kind of go through them. But I think improvising over doing a little bit differently, more musically, has started to develop my ear as far as lead playing and understanding, where the notes should go and how they blend together. So maybe what we'll do is we'll do a jam track that I was kind of playing around with and see if that works out. And I'll show you the patch that I'm using on the Helix for my recent patch that I built for the Helix, which is pretty good. So if you've got a Helix and you like the sound that I'm getting through here. The patch was really developed for a Les Paul, but I'm playing the Friedman tonight. But it still works on the Friedman. It's more for humbuckers, but I've been able to work with the Friedman with this patch, and it seems to work okay. So, but if you do like the patch, let me know, and I'll send it your way. Let's see, Jason. Jason is working on setting up a guitar, listening. Yeah, no problem, man. Listen away, jam away. I saw headpins open for Kiss. Really? Wow. What year would have that been? Guitar Hack says he saw headpins open for Kiss. I knew we were going to bring up Kiss tonight. Didn't take long. I noodle, Quentin James says. I've been improvising. Yeah, I think improvising is really, like, there's an art to it. It's not just playing random notes or doing different things. If you can actually improvise, like if I jammed with a band or something and they said, we're going to play this song, I might not know the song, but as long as I can figure out the actual rhythm parts and improvise melodies over top of it and stuff, I think that would go a long way. As far as a lead player, I mean, I'm not really a lead guitar player. I never was a guitar player, but I think that improvising to the point where I'm actually being melodic with the phrasing is helping me a lot now. And I'm starting to get my head around certain things and going from a major scale to a minor scale all in the same song and understanding where these things are fitting and working, because to me it's different because I'm just not used to doing that stuff. Yeah, Quentin, one fret away from a good note. Scott Connor says you should come up with a line of patches named Pretentious. Yeah, I should call this one Pretentious. I don't know. Les Paul, yeah. All right. Oh, the Lick It Up tour. Really? Wow, I didn't know that. Dog Plus says I'm always a fret away from a good note. I'll catch one eventually. A lot of improvise is just recalling a vocab of licks and melodies you always know work. Yeah, I suppose. But what I'm finding, I think, moving forward with it is that, yeah, I know the lick or the phrasing that I'm doing, but I'm actually adding things that weren't part of that before, and I'm seeing where things are working and where they're, maybe slightly out or not working with that key. And my ear, as far as my ear developing for hearing what that note is, that's what's happening right now, whereas before it was a little harder for me to get that. Key to improvise is to listen what you're playing over. Yeah, absolutely. Listen to what you're playing over. and start to feel what's happening underneath it, and then basically you can start to not overthink it as well. Sometimes you try to play too many notes, and sometimes it just takes one or two notes to really affect that part in a song. So I'm starting to get a grasp of doing that more often, and as I do that, I'm finding out that wow, this is way better than putting, a stream of 10 notes here, because I'm trying to, do something more complicated than it actually needs to be. When you listen to a song, a Pink Floyd song or something, you're listening to one of those solos, sometimes he's not doing a hell of a lot, but man, it really speaks. Like, you feel it. You feel that emotion behind it. And it's not just a random, here's 20 notes at shred speed type of thing. It's not that at all. Sometimes it's two notes with a nice bend in it, and it can do everything that you want out of it. But that's, I think that's what I'm more into than trying to shred or to be fast and all this stuff. Like, I think there's a place for that, but everybody's different as far as what they like and how they feel when they play. All right, Ben, yeah, you're having a show coming up here in about 20 minutes, so go set up and get that ready. I've been trying to play over songs, making my own parts, which is, that's the other thing. It's make it your own, right? Just play something that you really feel and over top of whatever it is that you're jamming with. And sometimes you can come up with some really cool stuff. Oh, Nocturnal, thanks. Thanks for putting that link in there for the website. That's another thing I got to get on soon here, is my website hasn't been updated in a couple of months here, so I need to get back in there, and because I kind of rotate the pictures that are on there. BrianCote.com right now is focused on my photography and my portfolio, so I kind of got to go in there and update some photos. What I'm going to probably do at BrianCote.com is make it so that when you get to that page, you can select photography, and it'll go into the photography section, and music will go into a music section, where I'll be, posting, down the road my originals and things of that nature, and whatever news that I have regarding the music part of the stuff that I'm doing will be based there, because I like having my name as far as BrianCote.com as the website and the place where you can go to find out information on what I'm doing if you're interested. But because I do photography for a living, that's a business part as well, so I need to separate the two, but keep it one section. So when you go to BrianCote.com, you get an opening page, and you'll have, music or photography, and then you can go from there. But I haven't done that yet. My plan is to do that and get all that set up before the end of the year anyway. If the note doesn't work, just bend it up half step and makes it, yeah. I'm getting good at doing that, I think. Hitting a note and it's all of a sudden, oh my God, no, and then you just bend it or do something different with it and you make it work. So that's an art in itself, I think. Bam says, don't teach him the wah pedal trick. Quentin James, don't need another Kirk. Yeah, and I don't play a lot with the wah, because my Helix, there's a wah on there, and I have it set up. In all my patches, I have a wah set up, but I don't use it that much, but I like to use it once in a while. It's fun, but it's not something I use a whole lot. And sometimes it's just because my Helix is under my desk here, and I kind of set it up, and it's not really in front of me, where, like, if I'm standing up over in the back or turned on the other side, it's not in front of me. But, it's fun to play with. I really like the wah in the Helix. I use it's called Throaty, I think. But that's the one I like, and it's really, really good. But I don't use a lot of it. And I'm taking that's a good thing from what the comment I'm seeing here. Some people don't like a lot of wah, like Kirk does. Using a good backing track can help with improvisation. Yeah, Phil Mosley knows that, because Phil has a lot of cool backing tracks on his site. I was looking at it just on the weekend, and I was jamming along with some stuff. Very good work. Thank you, Phil, for providing that to the community. That's awesome. So if any of you are not subscribed to Phil Mosley Music, go check it out. And if you're looking to do some practicing and improvising over some nice songs and stuff, he's got a good collection there. That's for sure. Guitar Hack says, when all else fails, hit the wah and lots of delay. Okay. I'll remember that. And that's what I will do then. if I'm ever out playing live again, and I am as a guitar player, that'll be my go-to security blanket. Let's put it that way. And we'll do that. All right. So I'm going to switch to the other camera. I'm going to pick up the guitar. Yeah, there you go, folks. I said it again. And I'll bring up a track, and I'll show you where I'm at as far as improvisation and how I'm kind of getting around this stuff a little bit better now. Well, I find anyway. You guys might say it's not that great. But let me just back that up a bit. See if this works. Yeah, that works. Okay. All right, cool. Give me 1 second, folks. I'll just get this camera turned over here. Quentin, we're going to do some fun stuff with the camera. You ready? Hold on to your underwear, Quentin. Let the wizardry begin. All right, so I think I'm okay. Okay there. All right. Where's my pick? I'm even playing with a well, this one's black and red, but at least there's red, so it's like Canada Day pick. It's a Dava pick. Really like the Dava stuff. All right, so I like the phaser as well. I've never really played with a phaser pedal, but on this patch I've got one in there and I like playing with it, so I'm gonna engage it right now. So just to have something different, I'm gonna keep the phaser on. All right, so I'm gonna jam a bit on this. I'm not gonna play it's a 5-minute tune, so I'm gonna play a little bit of it. I don't think I'm gonna play the whole thing, but all I'm doing here, and this is not something I've really played. Like I went on YouTube and typed in backing tracks, and these things came up, and I found one. It says melodic backing track. So another challenge I like to have is to play something. Like not listen to it over and over and over and then play it. Listen to it maybe once or twice and then just go with it and feel it instead of trying to memorize where everything should go and how that works. So that's exactly what I'm doing here is I'm just going to try to feel what the song is doing, and I'm going to start to improvise. All right, so let's see what happens. All right. So that's what that, I guess, felt like for me. I don't know how how good that comes across, but I did flub some notes. I wasn't really concerned with it. I was just kind of, as you're feeling the song out, you kind of find your place, and yeah, you're definitely gonna hit some bum notes here and there if you're not, I'm not used to doing this, at this level anyway. Doing what I've just did like here, I guess 6 months ago even wouldn't have been possible for me. I would have really struggled with that. I would have been overthinking it. I wouldn't have been able to jam along with the track quite as, fluidly. I would have been, thinking, okay, the next part's coming. Where do I go? And all this. I'm not doing that anymore. So I think that I've passed a little bit of I guess a threshold where I'm more able to feel something instead of think about, okay, this is what I'm going to do when this happens, and that's really where I want to get to is being able to hear something I've already been able to learn by ear, because I can tell when an A chord is being played, or when something's in the key of G or whatever. I've done that enough in my life being a bass player that I'm fine with that part, but actually playing lead and doing some scales and some stuff without overthinking about it, it's a quite a big departure for me. So anyway, let me turn the camera around and we'll finish up the chat, and we'll call it a Canada Day episode in the can. Let's say that. All right, so hold on. Let me bring this over here. And if I do this, perfect. All right, let's bring the mic back up here and see if I missed anything. Those 351 size picks mess with my legato. I don't know about legato. Don't go too fast, Quentin. You're going too fast for me with that stuff. Hey, Dogba, what's going on? First time I've heard Brian live. Awesome stuff. Oh, thank you. Let's see. Dale Palmer, Brian is modest about being a great guitar player. Well, thank you, Dale. That's very much appreciated. The thing with me is, I know where my real weak points are, and I tend, to think about that too much and not focus so much on the parts that I'm actually improving on, which is something that I've changed in the past month or so. I've kind of really said, Jesus, if you looked at yourself, I watched a video that I did, like I said, 6 months ago, and doing the same type of thing that I was doing there, and it was like night and day difference. So you need to take those positives and really build on them, and understand that there is an actual process as you're building your learning and your skill set, and adapting to something different and new. So I'm very happy that I'm progressing, at least, and getting out of my own way, let's say that way. When I'm playing, I'm not, if I can sit there and, again, not overthink everything and just feel it, that's where I want to be. Scott Connor, I do believe Mr. Cosey has been practical. Thank you, Scott. I do practice. I try to practice at least, if I don't practice every day, every couple of days, and I tend to pick up the guitar for at least, if not more, half hour or more. So I think that's important. And so this is nice jam. I jammed along. Yeah, it was kind of a Jimi Hendrix type of, I guess, feel to it. But yeah, I think that's what they do with these kind of things they post online as far as backing tracks. They kind of go with one type of style, and it's always, like something like a Hendrix or Pink Floyd or whatever. But yeah, and it helps me because now I can, when I go and actually play the real song, the Hendrix song, in a band or something, I'd feel very comfortable doing something like that, even though I'd be improvising and not directly copying what Hendrix did as far as his lead parts. I think you got to hit some of the key points in the lead part, something that's very identifiable and something that, you're going to hear. You got to pick those, but the other parts, I think you need to make them your own, because especially if you're playing live in a situation where people are coming to see you play, it's nice to put your own stamp on things. Okay, so I was talking about his guitar not showing his arms and legs at Nocturnal. Oh God, here we go. Ladybug. There weren't any bumps. Yeah, there were a few. There were a few. I'm just getting better at hitting them quickly and getting out of them. Before I was like, oh shit, that's a bum note, and then I'd think about that note and I'd screw up with something else. But now, as I do this a little bit more often, I kind of, you get around it a little easier. Feeling the music is true musicianship. Thanks, Phil. Yeah, and that's where you got to get as a musician. You have to get to that point where, yeah, you got to have the technical and some of the understanding of where the key is and what's happening within that key. But the real key, again, no pun intended, is feeling. It's feeling that song and that groove and what you're playing over top of, and then just let it come out the way it comes out. And that's the best feeling, I think. Pooh Ninja just dropping in for a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Happy Canada Day. Thank you. Hey, Pooh. Okay. Nocturnal retracted her own message. I wonder what she said. Too bad I can't see it. I don't know how to see it once you retract it. Again, what are you doing? You're retracting your own message? There we go. All right, I'm just getting down to the bottom here. If there's any last questions, let me know. We're 1 minute away from calling it anyway, so I think we're pretty much at the end. We had a good crowd in here tonight. I think we had like 35 people, which is awesome. Thank you very much for everybody for jumping in and listening to my Babylon sessions on Monday nights. Next Monday at 7 o'clock will be the last Monday before I go to NAMM, so I'll go over some of the plans that I have for NAMM and what I'm looking forward to seeing, and getting even some of your feedback on what you guys would like to see if I'm able to go and see some of the things that you're interested in, and either taking photos or video or something, whatever it is that I'm doing. If I have a chance to cover some of the stuff that you guys want to see, I will definitely try to do that. So yeah, that'd be the discussion for next week, and I'm sure we'll find other things to talk about and maybe play a little bit more guitar. I'm still working on a couple of new patches on the Helix. So again, if you guys have a Helix and you like some of the sounds that you hear when I'm playing here live, I don't know how it comes through on YouTube. Again, YouTube does do its own compression and stuff, but if you're into that stuff, let me know. I'm always willing to share with you guys the presets. Black Country Blues, how are ya? Happy Canada Day. All right, so Guitar Hack's is great show, Brian. Have a great week. See, yeah, Guitar Hack tomorrow night. He's got a show. I think it's at 7 o'clock. Definitely get to that one. Nocturnal has her show, I think, on Wednesday. Check that out. Rick Hefner, thanks. Janice, thank you. Ladybug, Scott Connor, Phil, Joe Hervey, Todd Flowers, David Ennis, the whole bunch of you, Dale Palmer, Pooh Ninja. I want to really say a big thank you to all of you. And I think, you know what? Because it is Canada Day, I think we should end off with the Canadian national anthem and roll out with that. What do you think, folks? All right. Have a great week. And if I go live again this week, you'll see a notification, hopefully, and you're more than welcome to jump in and come and do some shenanigans, right? And we will, if not, then we will talk to you next Monday. And I'm sure I'll see you guys in the chat for the other shows that we're all part of in the community. If you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Chicken Guitars, what's up? How are you? We're just ending the show. All right, so let me get back to this thing, and I will wish you a great week. And remember, folks, live and let live. All right, Take care.